You guys know how I always say that rental property may be one of your riskiest investments. Let's talk about exactly what that risk looks like, because I don't typically explain it in detail, but I thought about it this morning and I figured I should share it with you. So if you have cash in the bank, that cash in the bank is never going to get you sued, so it's relatively safe. Let's say that instead of putting your cash in the bank, you decide you want to buy securities, stocks, bonds, mutual funds. What's the worst thing that can happen if you buy, company A stock? Well, if company A goes bankrupt and goes out of business, you could, in theory, lose 100% of your money. That is never a good day. But the bleeding, financially at least, stops at your investment. If I put in $100, I could lose my $100. If I put in 100,000, I could lose that. But that's it. Once the investment goes to zero, it doesn't go below zero. Now, let's talk about if you, instead of buying stocks and bonds, you decided to take that money and put it into real property, specifically rental property. Commercial or residential doesn't really matter. What does the worst day look like in that scenario? Well, let's just say, God forbid, the property catches on fire through faulty wiring that you may or may not have known about. And, it burns to the ground and, kills a couple people inside, including a small child. Well, if you own that property in your own name, you're not just losing the rental property. You could lose everything financially in your life that is not nailed down or otherwise creditor protected. So, that is a very different proposition to buying stocks and bonds or putting your money in the bank. So what you should be doing is structuring the ownership of that rental property in a way that gives you legal asset protection, meaning that you are not personally liable for injuries that happen on the property. We like to do those in Florida land trusts, or you can also do them in LLCs. The idea is that do something. I can't tell you how many times people come into my office and they own one rental property or 30 rental properties, all in their own name. Or they have an LLC, which is better than nothing, and they have all 30 rental properties owned in the same LLC. That doesn't make sense either. Even though they couldn't get to your personal assets potentially, they can get to all of the assets owned by that LLC. So if you have 30 properties in there and they all are paid off or have a good amount of equity, something happens, someone dies, they can take all those properties from you. So think about that. If you know someone who has rental property that has owned it in their own name for some period of time, please share this with them, because I would like to have the opportunity to educate them. Hopefully nothing bad ever happens, but if something bad does happen, at least they knew they had options. Whether they use me or use someone else, I'm not really overly concerned of, who gets paid for the job. I'm really just interested in getting the information out there. Thank you. Have a great day.